She always loved cameras, she always loved acting, she always loved pretending.
I've heard rumors that you're very rude.
You know what, I've been saying I don't think I am. I'm gonna be really honest right now, I'm not. I like my job, but I will continue to stand up for myself.
Are you unkind? Are you unprofessional? Are you difficult? Are you these things? Felt such shame for such a long time.
I think we can all sort of sense an end in sight, and hopefully life will resume once again with, maybe some grace.
Katherine Heigl has had one of the most toxic careers in Hollywood. She was headed towards major stardom until she decided to speak out against sexism in Hollywood. She claimed that speaking out ruined her career and set her up for failure. This is a story about her sad life, so let's get into it. Katherine Heigl has had one of the most tragic careers in Hollywood. She was doing so well for herself until she was blackballed from the industry, all because she spoke up about some of her experiences on set and how she deserves better. Keep in mind, this is before the Me Too movement, so it was rare for people to speak out in Hollywood, and Katherine definitely felt the consequences for her actions. Now, you may recognize Katherine from films like Knocked Up or the television show Grey's Anatomy. This article reads that Katherine became a household name, but as soon as she became a beloved figure, she became one of the most hated figures in Hollywood, following a series of statements about the industry and her treatment. But it's not just her difficult time in Hollywood that shaped her trajectory. She's also faced a lot of difficulties at home, from death to illnesses in her family, and struggles with anxiety and depression.
Katherine Heigl was once the it girl of Hollywood, with a successful transition from television drama Grey's Anatomy to major romantic comedies like 27 Dresses and The Ugly Truth. However, her image suffered after she made some critical comments about the industry and her projects. Accusations of being difficult to work with also surfaced. While she has attempted comebacks through various television roles, including a part on Suits and the Netflix series Firefly Lane, her career has never managed to reach its previous peak, remaining a point of Hollywood curiosity rather than celebration.
It really seems like anytime anyone speaks up for themselves in Hollywood, they're automatically listed as difficult to work with. We're going to get into her struggles in Hollywood, but before we get there, I want to talk about some of her struggles at home when she was a young girl. At the age of 7, Katherine experienced a heartbreaking family tragedy. Her older brother Jason was killed in a car accident at the age of 15. The collision became fatal when he was thrown from the back of a pickup truck he was riding in with friends. He remained in the ICU unit for a week before passing away, which it makes me think of like going in Hawaii and things. I see people in the back of their trucks and it's very common, but you really never know if someone's going too fast or you bump a certain way, you could fly out and die. And being 7 years old and watching your parents and losing your brother, and I can't imagine what toll that had on her. Everyone deals with grief differently, and her family decided to turn to Mormonism as a result of the tragedy. They also made the choice to donate her brother's organs upon his passing. She wrote on Instagram, "My parents made the decision they knew their son would have wanted to make on his behalf. They not only knew that it was what Jason would have wanted, but they also did not want anyone else to suffer." Katherine did start a charity in her brother's name in 2008, creating this foundation that focuses on preventing animal abuse, which was important in his life. Here's a clip of Katherine speaking to Drew Barrymore about this.
You run a foundation called the Jason Debus Heigl Foundation, and it's your brother who you wanted to honor. Tell me about that, please.
Well, I really have to. This was my mother's brain and heart child, the foundation. And obviously giving Jason a legacy was incredibly important to her. My brother was killed in a car accident when he was 15, and he was a huge animal. And honestly, the innocent and the voiceless were his thing. He was a huge advocate, even at 15, which is sort of remarkable. So the foundation was a way for us to give him that legacy and do something that we are also passionate about. And the idea is to really just end the unnecessary killing of companion animals.
Side note, this is probably the best way to do a Drew Barrymore interview because you don't have to worry about her like sitting on your lap, touching you, getting uncomfortably close. I actually kind of like this format for Drew. You know what's worse than getting injured? Fighting with the insurance company afterwards. They will often stall, delay, and lowball you because their goal is to pay you as little as possible because they are not on your side. That's where Morgan & Morgan comes in. They are the largest injury law firm in America, America, with over 1,000 attorneys and millions of clients served. They've secured billions of dollars for settlements and verdicts, including a $26 million payout in Philadelphia, 40 times more than what the insurance company originally offered. And the best part about Morgan & Morgan is that they don't charge anything up front. There is no consulting fee, there's no hourly rate, there's no hidden cost by going and getting them to help you out. So if you've been hurt in an accident, Morgan & Morgan has your back if you become their client. You can go to forthepeople.com/Sloan or scan the QR code on the screen to start your claim now. You probably could get it submitted before this video is even over with, and it's not going to hurt to go and figure out how much you are owed. Thank you, Morgan & Morgan, for sponsoring this video, and enjoy. Now, after Katherine's brother Jason passed away, the family wasn't ever able to recover. Katherine also dealt with her parents' divorce, which happened at the beginning of her Hollywood career in 1996. Shortly after, she graduated from high school and moved in with her mother Nancy to an apartment in Los Angeles. Since then, the two Heigl women have collaborated on multiple public-facing campaigns, including the foundation she created in honor of her brother. Here's a clip of Katherine and her mother on an interview with Oprah Winfrey.
Nancy Heigl is Katherine's mom. I heard you felt that Katherine was different than most kids when she was younger. How?
Well, not really different. You could recognize her talents very easily. She always loved cameras. She always loved acting. She always loved pretending. So it was easier with Katie to identify where her gifts and talents were.
Really? You could see it?
Yes.
What is it you saw?
You could tell right away with Katie. She just kind of lights up when cameras go on. And
she seems so special watching her reactions to her mom speaking about her.
And she likes
all
it.
lit up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She was too, I remember at Christmas, and she had a doll she wanted desperately and a little rocker, and she was all busy with her doll and rocker. And the second even the home camera came out, the doll drives her and she starts to kind of perform. So I think it was rather, she always had the instincts.
I wish you had that video. You should have brought us that video.
She always had the instincts, but it's been hard work.
So Katherine's career exploded in Hollywood. I mean, she's getting interviewed by Oprah, she's got plenty of gigs, and she ends up finding someone to fall in love with. Musician John Kelly. Actually, it turns out that they had a daughter together named Nali, and unfortunately, Katherine claims that she had issues bonding with her first child. She adopted the baby girl from South Korea in 2009, then returned to work on Grey's Anatomy. She was concerned that spending her time working would prevent her from getting to know her infant child, saying, "I never saw that baby," she said while on The View. "I was at work with 3 triplets who were playing my goddaughter, and I spent more time with them than I did with my new daughter." To make matters worse, Katherine thought that by missing out on these critical childhood moments, that it would only be her husband who had connected with Nayli quickly, which would be able to bond with the baby. Quote, "Our social worker told us that it's pretty typical for kids to react differently to their new mothers, but it takes time for a child to trust this new situation and to trust you." Now, because Katherine has adopted children, she's been a big advocate against racism, because even though she's a white woman, she claims that she's been able to see and to educate her children on what the world is like outside of this white bubble, as she says.
How is that, talking to your girls about stuff like this?
It was really when the Black Lives Matter movement happened, and well, it's been happening, but when it, what was it? It was about April, right? And I just didn't know how to have this conversation with Adelaide or Nayli. I didn't know how to say, there will be people in this world that don't like you simply because of the color of your skin. I just didn't know how to say that, because my job as their mother is to build up their self-esteem and encourage self-confidence. Yeah. And I just thought, I'm going to take a piece of their soul with this. And so what we started doing was watching a lot of programs together. And there was one in particular that was dealing with racial issues, and some nasty, ugly things were said. And we stopped it to talk to Adelaide and say, now Adelaide, that if somebody ever said something like that to you or treated you that way, that has nothing to do with you. That is completely about them. Yeah. She goes, I know. I already know. I'm totally beautiful and super cool.
Now that we've covered her personal family, I want to talk about the downfall of her career. Now, at the peak of her career, Katherine faced numerous rumors about her on-set behavior and her attitude, especially on Grey's Anatomy. She not only had issues with on-set, but she also did not like her character Izzy and the direction that her character was headed, and she was outspoken about this.
I've heard rumors that you're very rude.
You know what? I've been saying I don't think I am. I'm going to be really honest right now. I'm not. No, I'm not. Yeah. I don't have to think about it. I'm not a rude person. I'm not an unkind or mean person. I would never go out of my way or consciously try to hurt anyone's feelings or make them feel bad or uncomfortable, or not be professional and do my job. I like my job. But I will continue to stand up for myself. And I'm never going to, stop standing up for my right to be heard, my right to be treated respectfully and professionally in return, my right to draw boundaries. I am a strong woman, and I'm not going to apologize for that. And I'm not going to on behalf of my daughters, and I'm not going to on behalf of all of you sitting in the audience. We should all have the right, the basic human right, to say, hey, no, I'm sorry, I'm not comfortable with that. I don't like that. Like, without it making me, I can't say the word, but
I know what the word is. Yeah.
The word.
Right.
Now, what really ruined Katherine's career is what happened in 2008. She withdrew herself from the Emmy Award consideration for season 4 of Grey's Anatomy, which celebrities are all about their awards, whether it's an Emmy, an Oscar, or a Grammy. They want that award. So the fact that Katherine is withdrawing herself really offended people. She claims her decision was taken out of context and then spiraled out of control. She claimed that she was trying to have some integrity while throwing some shade at Rhymes by claiming that the material that she was given that season wasn't at level she wished. So she wanted to, protest it by not going and participating in the Emmys. Katherine claimed that sexism in Hollywood directly impacted and changed her career. Now, that interview with Vanity Fair in 2008 that she did, where she made some statements about sexism that she experienced on the set of the 2007 film Knocked Up, she claimed that the movie portrayed female characters as unfunny and uptight, and that male characters were joyful and goofy. Now, the director, Judd, and co-star Seth Rogen reacted negatively to her story and continued the drama. Katherine said, I may have said a couple of things that you didn't like, but then it escalated to she's ungrateful, then escalated to she's difficult, then escalated to she's unprofessional. After the Emmy nomination fiasco, Katherine continued to battle difficult labels as she claimed that the more she spoke up about on-set schedules or material she was given, she was pushed down and eventually out of Hollywood. She claims that she just felt passionately about her work, and she did not realize that these were going to be the implications of her speaking out.
Are you unkind? Are you unprofessional? Are you difficult? Are you these things? Because I was confused. I thought maybe I was. It took me until probably my mid to late 30s to really get back to tuning out all of the noise and going, no, but who are you? Who are you without all of the opinions of who you are? Are you this bad person? Are you ungrateful? Are you unkind? Are you unprofessional? Are you difficult? Are you these things? Because I was confused. I thought maybe I was, and I literally believed that version and felt such shame for such a long time, and then had to go, wait, who am I listening to? I'm not even listening to myself. I know who I am. I don't need anybody to tell me who I am. And there are very few people whose opinion of me really, truly matters.
Now, because she had such a difficult time not only understanding what was happening to her, but herself, she experienced some mental health issues. This article reads that she has laminated the serious mental health issues she's experienced as a result of what she faced in Hollywood. She says, the more I said I was sorry, the more they wanted it. The more terrified and scared I was doing something wrong. The more I came across like I'd really done something horribly wrong. So she almost convinced herself that she was the problem. This all led to a severe depression and anxiety, something that impacted her so much that she got out of town. She left LA. This article reads her actions even frightened her family, who joined her and eventually settled with her in Utah. She said, quote, I regret deeply that I scared them like that, but I couldn't control it. I had no tools. She eventually turned to medications like Zoloft to help her stabilize her mood and combat her depressive thoughts.
And listen, I think mental health is something that we've all had to examine in our own lives, especially during lockdown and the pandemic. Can that be said for each of you?
It started for me about 5 years ago, where I started to have to really address some mental health issues that had started for me as a teenager that I didn't understand and just assumed was my own weakness or my own fault. And then it just escalated and got significantly worse in my 30s and then post pregnancy. So I had already kind of had to deal with some of that. And I'm so grateful I did, because I can't imagine this time of isolation and quarantining if I had not. I can't even imagine where my brain would have gone. So I have been able to actually really utilize this time to continue to foster certain things I can do to help myself along with medication. But that has been a huge blessing, because I think we can all sort of sense an end in sight, and hopefully life will resume once again with maybe some grace.
Now, in 2023, we got another update from Katherine. This really scares me because my neck is always in pain. Oh gosh. But she had to undergo a major neck surgery to treat a herniated disc. She had 2 titanium discs inserted into her neck, which kept her in the hospital for some time, describing the pain as excruciating. She said, "I'm deeply, deeply grateful to the incredible doctors and care team that saved me and blessed me with a new pain-free lease on life." Congratulations on that one. The neck surgery did not stop her from cracking jokes, telling her followers that she is bionic and could stand on her head for multiple hours, saying, "Clearly I've been blessed with the luck of the Irish today." Well, what a story. Katherine Heigl, she really was speaking out before anyone else was, and I think it really stopped her from reaching that level of becoming like an Oscar-nominated actress. It really killed her and left her for TV. But I want to hear what you guys think in the comments below. Are you a fan of Katherine's? What do you think of her story? And I'll see you in a new one soon. Bye, guys.